And so just a couple of terms that I wanted to cover. It's going to be, we're going to start off with users, fairly straightforward of just someone that's come to your website and is browsing through your website. When they browse through your website, that's going to be called a session. And so a session is a 30-minute window. You can change that number, but it's the default is 30 minutes. I haven't really seen a use case for it being changed too much. I think maybe Pip, you mentioned a video. If you have it on a page that, or you do a lot of video content and it's longer than that period, you might want to extend it. But generally, 30 minutes is a good amount of time. Also, to keep in mind, it can be that's 30 minutes of activity. So, say someone goes to your website, looks at a couple pages, turns off their phone and go back to whatever they were doing, and then picks up their phone, goes back to your website. That's a new session, even if it's the same user. So the those 30 minutes is just it's a good window for people to see the activity. And we've definitely seen it in our analytics where there's been people that open up a page multiple times before they filled out the form. And so bounce rate is another thing that we'll keep in mind. So bounce rate is the number of people that just come to the first page that they land on, homepage or otherwise, and they just go, oh, this isn't for me, and back out right away. You're always going to have those people. The important part is to have it be a healthy amount. Usually, a healthy 50 to 70% bounce rate is generally what I would aim for. Anything that's on the far ends, less than 10% or over 90%, I start to get concerned because that means that it might be broken. There might be, if it's too low, that might mean that the Google Analytics are multiple and they're all firing. And so it will really mess up the bounce rate, which is why you only want to have one Google Analytics on a page. And yeah, that's generally it's a number to keep an eye on as it's an engagement metric that Google does use. They maybe not like, they don't make it as overt, but it's definitely a factor of what they call user engagement. Okay, so dimension. So this is going to be one of the really important ones that we're going to want to know about. And so a dimension is basically, the way I think of it is that's the ones with the words. So the say it's a source medium, it's going to be Google Organic or Facebook or Google CPC. And so it's the named part, and then the metric is the number that it is like of what we're counting. And so the think of it is they're the rows. Usually dimensions are the rows where, and the columns are going to be the metric. So Google Organic had how many users, and it's going to be 12, or I don't like just making something up, but it's a way that you can visualize it, that it's the dimension is the thing you're trying to analyze, and then it's going to be against a metric, and that metric's going to be a number of like how many pages they visit, how long do they stay on your page on average. And so these are dimensions are super important as long with metrics. That's what you're going to be spending your time looking at a lot of this. And so, yeah, certain metrics, we've got sessions, page views, the conversions, the bounce rate, and they're all going to be represented by a number. So it's how many times did that event happen for whatever the dimension may be. So also a segment. So segment is super important. It's a subset of the data, meaning that if you think of it like a pizza and say you have new users versus returning users, people that have, you want to know how many people you're getting that are new to your site and how many people are returning. It can be useful to know if like people are coming back a lot and maybe they're not converting, then that's something to look at. You definitely want to have a healthy amount of people coming. And so what you're doing is you're seeing, oh, 30% of my users are new users and 70% are returning. So that might be a bit of information that you want to know because you want to make sure that you're getting new people to your site, and then they might come a couple times. So that's definitely something to look at. And a secondary dimension. So this is going off of a segment. We just, as an example, we have users, and then I want to know new users. And then my secondary dimension is what device are they on? Are all my new users are they mobile or are they on desktop? And it's that way we can see, oh, okay, so most of the people that are coming to our site initially are on mobile. Oh, okay, we need to make sure that we're fully optimized for that. You get a subsegment of it. In Google Analytics 4, you'll see it called Add Comparison. That's the button that will activate that. It's definitely one when you get way more granular, but when you're first starting out, you won't need to worry about this right away. It's just one to keep in mind that it's, oh, maybe you want to pull out an extra bit of information.